What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are in the shop and we're going to be going over some stuff for the Cherokee Chief. So first thing is, as you may can tell, probably not, is that I actually bought a buffer and a polisher and kind of spruced up the paint. Got some stuff in the works cosmetically for this Jeep. I'm gonna be not painting it, but just something to kind of spruce it up so it's not just a boring green color. You can see here, you can see me waving, hey. But check this out. So it looks terrible on camera and in person, but there was a rust spot right here that I fixed and it looks a little better, not much, but that polisher did a pretty good job. And of course my Cherokee emblem fell off. That's great. And check this out. So if you are subscribed, you've probably seen the door panel that my dad made. How awesome is that? I love it. We got the radio installed. We're going to be putting the AC vents in hopefully soon. And then I've got to get the window in on the opposite side. You can see the car seat in the front. So this is like my kid's new favorite vehicle. But yeah, look at that. I want to find something like wood pins that go right there. Just because I feel like those black push pins kind of stick out. So I've put about 100 miles on this Jeep. And so far I haven't had any complaints with the new roof rack or the rooftop tent. There's no weird wind noise, there's no issues or rattling or anything like that. There's baby Yoda. This side right here really cleaned up. Like if the whole Jeep looked like this, I would be tickled. Like that, the paint on this side is great. But let's get to the real reason that you're here. You want to see this sick new bumper. Check this out. So this is a fully built custom winch bumper from a company called Flying Iron Fabrication. You can find them on Instagram. This thing is super rad. The welds are awesome. I mean, it is the coolest bumper that I've found online for these. These are the brackets that come with it. And it also comes with the grade 8 hardware, so that's super cool. But look at this. So I'm definitely going to be tagging them in this video. You definitely should give them a follow and check them out online. But I think it's going to be absolutely perfect for this build. I want to try to get y'all to see in here on the back side. Like look how boxed in everything is. Like most like other bumpers, they wouldn't even have like any of this stuff right here. This thing is beefy. And then, of course, I had to go with the tried and true Warren 12,000. So it's going to be fitting perfectly on here. And you can see right here that the D-ring tabs are integrated inside of the frame of the bumper. So it's going to be super stable and super strong. It's already got some holes cut out for a winch. So the bumper did come completely raw. It wasn't painted. Even though it looks powder coated, it's not. I actually used a can and a half of Steel It. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I use this pretty much in every video. But anyway, that's enough talking. I'm gonna start working on getting this bumper on. It really doesn't have any instructions or anything, so I'm just gonna have to wing it. I've got one of my buddies coming over to help me put it on. All right, so I've got all my hardware laid out and I'm trying to see, so it looks like this piece, whoops. It looks like this piece right here with the piece pointing outwards. Looks like it goes right there. That way you can still access your power steering bolts and everything like that. So that pretty much lines up with those holes. All right, so we have the brackets on the frame here, and I've got one bolt in, and now I believe me and Chris, say hey Chris.
Hey.
Now me and Chris are going to try to pick this up and see if we can get this lined up and get a couple of bolts in. Alright, so we got the bumper all the way on, and this thing is looking awesome. I really dig this setup. So now I got to get that winch on. I'll show you how much it sticks out. Not far. I'm going to be opening up this winch. There's the rope. Fair lead. Nice, nice. So we gotta get the wiring out. There's the most important part, the sticker. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get the winch on the Jeep, and then I will get the synthetic rope on. Oh. So this bumper has a couple of mounting options. And so I've actually got to figure out whether it's going in the holes in the front or the holes towards the rear of the bumper. And probably should have figured that out before I put the winch on here, but it'll be all right. So on the inside of the winch, you actually put this nut with the flange on the bottom. and it actually slides in the base just like that, and then the bolt will go up inside of it, and that's what will hold it onto the bumper. So I'm gonna get all 4 of these put in, and then I'll see exactly where this winch is gonna be lined up at. I've got the winch just sitting on the bumper right now, and I do have it loose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it in free spool, and then I'm gonna turn the drum until the notch, the big notch on the bottom is facing down, and then the little one is on top right there. So that's the big notch that I'm talking about right there. That's the small notch. So I've got the small notch on top, the big notch on the bottom. So then I'm gonna take my synthetic rope and I'm gonna find the end of it. The reason that they make this red is just a warning saying that you're getting very close to the end of the synthetic cable there. So if you're ever free spooling a winch and you start seeing red, you need to stop. So what I'm gonna do now is it actually comes with the synthetic rope insulation wire, and I've done this without the wire, but for video purposes, I'll show you. So you just kind of take the wire like this, and you just run it through like that. And so what you're doing is you're actually going to be pulling this synthetic rope through that tiny little spot right there. And it doesn't look like it'll fit, but it will. So whenever you do this, make sure that I'm not putting my fair lead on just yet, but you can, but I'm not, just so that way I have a little bit more working room when I'm on the inside there. So I'm gonna feed this inside to the back of the drum, and I'm gonna circle it back. Just like that. And I'm actually gonna feed the top of this wire through the top of that notch right here and feed that down just like that. So you see I've got the wire coming around, and always make sure that the synthetic rope is on the bottom coming around this way. So I'm going to start pulling this through, and I'm going to tilt it back just a little bit just for pulling purposes, and I'm going to go ahead and engage it, that way it doesn't try to spin. And then I'm going to take some pliers like this, and I'm just going to start pulling, and with a little patience it'll come on through. I got the cable all the way through. So what you do next is you take the eyelet, feed it inside of that cable right there. So with that eyelet in there, just like that, the instructions say to slowly pull it to seat the eyelet. Alright, so now that I have the synthetic cable perfectly seated, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wire it up. That way I can go ahead and wrap this around the drum. These winches are pretty simple to wire up. You've got a black for your ground and then a red for your positive. The most difficult part is getting it there where it's not going to be chopped up by your radiator fan or anything like that. I got the winch all wired up, and now we're about to test it. I really hope it works. Yes, it does. Perfect. So now that I have the winch working, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 10 layers of synthetic rope, just light tension, just me kind of pulling on it and letting this wrap around before I actually set this synthetic rope up properly. Alright, so now that I have the red all the way in and seated properly, what I'm going to do is I've actually got the Comanche over there hooked to the Chief, and I'm going to be pulling the Comanche all the way up here. That way that synthetic cable is being seated properly, because you don't want to just wrap it around and not have any tension while it's going on, because then when you do put tension on it, it's just going to pull and it's going to clench down unevenly on the drum. Come back this way. So now I've got some of the gray on there. You can see my daughter is manning the Comanche. She's doing a great job. Say hey, Autumn. So she's driving Johnny Cash. But so what I'm doing is I've got a glove on, and I'm just trying to just glide this on as best as possible. Alright, so now that I have the synthetic cable all secured on here, actually I took the hook back off, and I'm going to be putting on the supplied fair lead right here. And so what you do is pretty simple. You just get the bolts, run it through the holes right here, and get that started here. Just like that. And I'll be using some lock washers and some fancy nuts. Alright, so now that I got the fair lead on, what I'm going to do is put the hook on, and so it's pretty self-explanatory, but that is you just put the hook in, and you take the pin, and you drop that in, and then you take this cotter pin right here, run that like that, and then I just like to get some needle nose, pop that thing around, make sure you do both sides of it. And now we'll just run it in. I got the Winch installed. That looks really good. I feel like that winch matches this Jeep perfectly. And I also got something else in the mail today. Check this out. All you purists know exactly what this is. This is a hood bar. Apparently these are very sought after, but what this does is it goes right here to kind of cover up this ugliness right there. So the hood that I put on didn't have a hood bar, and I've been looking for one, and I finally found one. A guy had it in Florida. Thought I was getting scammed, to be honest with you, but guy had one in Florida and sent it to me. So now I'm about to try to get it on. Alright, so I quickly realized that I do not have the correct hardware at all for these. So I'm just going to kind of have to makeshift something up just to kind of secure this on. It's not that hard. I mean, it's got threaded holes in it, and then it's got these tabs that come off, and there's some holes up underneath the hood that it goes in. So So I stole the D-rings off my F-250, the worn D-rings, and I think it looks really good. The Jeep affair is tomorrow, so had to get this thing all together. That way we can take it out there. It's going to be its first event. But I'm pretty excited about how good the bumper and the winch and everything looks. And also I did trim up these pieces down here before they came down, and I didn't really like it because it kind of looked like a snaggle tooth or something like that, so I clearanced those. But yeah, I think it looks really good. And check this out, I got a new toy for the shop. So this is a Miller-Matic 252. And I am super excited to start using it. But anyway guys, that's going to do it for this video. I really appreciate y'all watching me put the winch and the winch bumper on the Cherokee Chief. If you have any questions on this build, please leave in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them for you. And make sure that you like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It would definitely help out the channel. And we will see you on the next one.